Good morning, Namaskar, Salam. My name is Nikesh Srivastava. I am the CEO of Yuvna Reality based out of Dubai. As you know, the Dubai market is booming. A lot of investors are, investing in Dubai from all over the world. And this is one question which most of the non-resident have, that whether they can avail the mortgage in the UAE when they are not physically present there. So I have with me Yash Trivedi, who is the CEO of UAE Mortgage. He will be answering you all your questions and the entire end-to-end process, how a non-resident can avail the mortgage in the UAE. Over to you. Welcome, Yash. And let's start the today's discussion. Please tell us more about your company and how you started this journey and how the non-resident can avail the mortgage in the future.
So thank you very much, Nikhil, for that introduction. My name is Yash, and I'm the founder of UAE Mortgages. We are a mortgage advisory firm here in Dubai. I come from Bombay, and I've been in Dubai for about 10 years in the mortgage business. I've predominantly worked with banks. I'm an ex-banker, worked with Mashreq, HSBC, and then after sheer 10 years of experience in this industry, I thought it's best for me to venture out. And one of the core reasons why is because when you have an advisory firm, you've got access to the banks, you can offer more solutions to the customer.
Right.
Like, for example, you rightly said that there are huge amount of non-residents investing in Dubai, predominantly for the yields that they get in Dubai, the options that they get all over the world. Indians, Pakistanis, the Brits, they are investing in large numbers,
Right.
right? So, and a lot of people are not really aware that there are financing options. So, what we do as an advisory firm, we give them a platform, we have discussions, we try and understand what their requirements are, and then we help them to do the process end to end. With COVID, with digitalization, really taking the center stage, it has now become even more easier for non-residents to invest in UAE. They do need to visit the country a couple of times, or at least once, I would say, to go ahead and get their account openings done, because for non-residents, banks generally open up a savings account instead of a current account. You
Right.
don't get a checkbook in a savings account, and you need to be physically present here with an entry stamp. Only then you can actually do an account opening. Other thing is also life insurance. Banks insist, or there's a central bank requirement that when the banks lend, they should be covered with a life insurance. So again, one of the rule of law of land is that you need to be in the country when you do a life insurance. So these are two predominant reasons why an individual needs to come to the country. However, the underwriting, the approvals, everything could be done remotely. I work with clients who come here only to do the account opening, to do the registration in the municipality, and then they go back. So it has become pretty easy. Most of the banks do finance for non-residents.
Mhm.
It's 60% loan to value. It used to be 50%. Now banks have become a bit more flexible. 60% financing for non-residents at a very, very competitive interest rates. When you compare it to the interest rates they pay back in their home countries, it's a
Right.
very, very competitive, and gives you that edge in terms of an investment, in terms of return on investments for you.
Okay, that's great. So, as you said, I think if somebody is staying in the UK or India, what are the eligibility criteria for those guys to avail the mortgage? As you said, I think they can avail up to 60%. But is there any
Right.
particular steps or some criterias which they should follow before they're applying for a mortgage here in the UAE?
So it's a good question, right? So again, because there certain banks have risk appetites, right? Where some banks are more flexible, some banks consider non-residents as a threat or a risk, because if you default, it's easier for them to come back to you, try to see where you are, or try to do some sort of recoveries. Whereas someone is outside of the country, it's a bit more difficult, considering different rule of lands and stuff. So again, it depends on bank's appetite. There are banks who do a full underwriting, which means, let's say, if you're from India, for example, they
Mhm.
will ask you for your tax returns, your source of investments, if you're salaried, if you're self-employed, if you're professional, like do a thorough underwriting on an individual. Then there are certain banks who have now made it very, very easy. What they say is all we need is 3 months of bank statement and a passport copy.
Okay.
They want to understand how liquid the customer is. So assuming, let's say there's a client from the UK, London, who wants to buy a property here.
Mhm.
He manages an average balance of about 20,000 sterling, for example,
Got it.
and he maintains that balance over the account for the last 3 months. The bank would actually be more than happy to go ahead and give him a loan for about 2-3 million. Obviously, the way the income calculation is done is based on the average balances someone maintains. So yes, there are a couple of banks where the underwriting is easy, but the interest rates are slightly higher. But again, at the end of the day, when you're a non-resident, you want to just try and keep things very simple so that there's less headache, less documentation.
Got it.
So generally it's 3 months or 6 months of personal bank statements and a passport copy, what is required for underwriting.
Okay.
The banks need to do additional due diligence or compliance check for these non-residents clients. So they ask for an address proof of where the person is living. Someone's living in London, they need a utility bill or a bank statement which has an address. They will ask for an income proof, like what does someone do for a living? Are
Got
you
it.
salaried? If you're salaried, you need to give us a pay stub. If you're self-employed, then we need a trade license or some sort of proof for a background check on what you really do or where you generate the source of income.
Got it.
So these are 3 or 4 simple things that they look at, but depending on the bank to bank, the documentation change. But as an overview, 3 to 6 months of personal bank statements or current bank statements and money liquid in their accounts.
Okay. And how long the entire process takes? Let's say from start to the dispersal.
Right. I think 2 weeks approximately is how much time it takes for pre-approval to come through. One of the core reasons is compliance at times takes a bit of time, because they need to go to several stages and due diligence, it takes 3-4 days. But I think 2 weeks time for a pre-approval.
Okay.
You finalize the unit, you do the valuation of the property. Once the underwriting is done, the bank can proceed with the final offer letter. They can come down, open the account, get things done. So I think 30 to 45 days ideally for the
Ideally.
entire process to take place, where you could do most of the things while you're sitting at your home
Got it.
digitally, and then you just come at the last stages of the application.
Okay, just one more question because this investor is asking, okay, as I can understand, the entire mortgage process can be digitalized, remotely. But as you said, they have to come here for opening up a bank account. So they don't need any kind of resident visa for that. They can just come on a tourist visa and then can start their banking, or they need a resident visa for opening up a saving account,
So
say.
it's a fantastic question, and I completely understand why your investors ask you these questions, because these are the similar sort of questions that I've got in when I used to be a banker. See, there needs to be a reason for someone to open an account over here in Dubai or in the UAE. Someone who's just on a tourist visa wants to just open an account to place money. It's not very easy. There has to be a reason. So when someone is buying a property, right, you would need a bank account to service those installments. You would
Got it.
need a bank account, for your rentals, because non-residents, when they invest here, is predominantly for rental incomes, right? So you would need a reason. If you are investing in this markets, then you would need. So basically, they would do, and that's the reason why I said compliance or due diligence plays a very, very important role when it comes to non-residents, because they want to first understand the reason or the source of this account to be opened. But someone who just doesn't want to invest here and just feels, okay, I'm just going to have an account here to place some money, that doesn't work,
Got
I
it. So
think.
like when somebody is buying and the same bank can help them and facilitate them in opening up a saving account in the same bank where the mortgage are coming.
Absolutely correct. Bang on. Yes.
And also, what is the average, interest rate for these non-resident mortgages? Is it different than the resident one, or is it a bit higher?
Yes. So, interest rates for non-residents are typically higher than
Okay.
that of residents, at least a difference of about 1.5%.
Okay.
The interest rates for non-residents today are anywhere between 5 to 6.5%, depending from bank to bank. If they are offering fixed rates, a lot of banks don't offer fixed rates and offer only the variable product. And in today's market, when the IBOR is close to 5.5, 5.3, the interest rates could go up to 8.5, 9% as well. And that's why it's very, very important for non-residents to understand what options they really have rather than talking to the bank directly. That's where we come in place, and we go ahead and guide them that, okay, this is the bank we should go with purely from a rate perspective, or this is the bank we should go with because their terms are much simpler and better. But it would range from 5 to 9%.
A lot of customers to understand. Thank you, Yash. Really appreciate your time today. And I'm sure, I think we may have some question. Our investor may have some more questions. As soon as I receive any update, I'll let you know, and we'll connect you with one-to-one with those guys. Anyone,
Definitely.
as I said, I think you can see our email ID and our phone number on the footer. Any question, please drop us an email and call us, and we'll be more than happy to connect you with Yash on a one-to-one session. Thank you, Yash, one more
Thank
time.
you, Nikhil.
Thank you. You all have
Thank you for having me here.
take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.